Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 6. Prahlāda Mahārāja instructs his schoolmates. Text 9. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. What person too attached to household life due to being unable to control his senses can liberate himself? An attached householder is bound very strongly by ropes of affection for his family, wife, children, and other relatives. Purport. Prahlāda Mahārāja's first proposal was Kaumarya achet pragyodhamam bhagavatan niha. One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. Dhammam Bhagavatan means the religious principle of reviving our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For this purpose, Krishna personally advises, Savadam Paritteja Mamakam Sharanam Braja. Give up all other duties and surrender unto me. While in the material world, we manufacture so many duties in the name of so many isms. But our actual duty is to free ourselves from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. For this purpose, one must first be liberated from material bondage, and especially from household life. Household life is actually a kind of license for a materially attached person by which to enjoy sense gratification under regular principles. Otherwise, there's no need of entering household life. Before entering household life, one should be trained as a brahmacārī, living under the care of the guru, whose place is known as the gurukula. Brahmacārī gurukule, vasan, dānto, guror, hitam. From the very beginning, a brahmacārī is trained to sacrifice everything for the benefit of the guru. A brahmacārī is advised to go begging alms door to door, addressing all women as mother, and whatever he collects goes to the benefit of the guru. In this way, he learns how to control his senses and sacrifice everything for the guru. When he is fully trained, if he likes, he is allowed to marry. Thus, he is not an ordinary gṛhastha who has learnt only how to satisfy his senses. A trained gṛhastha can gradually give up household life and go to the forest to become increasingly enlightened in spiritual life, and at last take sannyāsa. Prahlāda Mahārāja explained to his father that to be freed from all material anxieties, one should go to the forest. Hitvātma-pātaṁ gṛham andha-kūpam. One should give up his household life, which is a place for going further and further down into the darkest regions of material existence. The first advice, therefore, is that one must give up household life, gṛham andha-kūpam. However, if one prefers to remain in the dark well of household life, because of uncontrolled senses, he becomes increasingly entangled by ropes of affection for his wife, children, servants, house, money, and so on. Such a person cannot attain liberation from material bondage. Therefore, children should be taught from the very beginning of life to be first-class brahmacārīs. Then it will be possible for them to give up household life in the future. To return home, back to Godhead, one must be completely free from material attachment. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga means Vairagya Vidya, the art that can help one develop a distaste for material enjoyment. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayasu Vairagyam Gyanacha Yad Ahaitukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Goddess Shri Krishna, one immediately acquires causes, knowledge, and detachment from the world. If one engages in devotional service from the beginning of life, he easily attains Vairagya Vidya or Ashakti, detachment, and becomes Jitendriya, the control of the senses. One who perfectly engages in devotional service is therefore called Goswami or Swami, master of the senses. Unless one is a master of the senses, he should not accept the renounced order of life, sannyāsa. A strong inclination for sense enjoyment is the cause of the material body. Without full knowledge, one cannot be unattached to material enjoyment. But as long as one is not in that position, one is not fit to return home back to Godhead. Om Jnanta Vedandasya Jnanara Shalakya Chakshum Hitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Garamayam Dadati Swabadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So having uncontrolled senses is our downfall in spiritual life. If you cannot control the senses, then you cannot become a pure devotee. So you can say it's a bigger purport Prabhupada gave. So he's trying to emphasize that spiritual life is not cheap. Spiritual life is not just a feeling. There is a sense of discipline, there's a sense of sacrifice, and there's a sense of this is the purpose of life. This is not just something you put on the side. There's a tendency to think, how to balance my material and spiritual life. No, you're not supposed to have a material life. So it may sound we're heading towards the fanatical side here, looks like. But no, we're heading to the more intellectual side. The intelligent person understands, first of all, that they're not this material body. And this material body is made of senses. The eyes to see, the ears to hear, the nose to smell, the tongue to vibrate and taste, and the skin to touch. These are pulling us left, right, and center. The eyes say, let's go over there, straight away, pull us away. You hear something, let's go over there. You see something to touch, someone's in soft skin. Let's go touch. Smell something, taste something. You want to tell everyone your story. Everyone's a motivational speaker, a life coach, even though you have no qualification whatsoever. So this is all part of the material body pushing us. And of course, there's the sense within, which is the mind. So the senses will tell the mind, okay, this looks good. No matter what it is, it'll just say, what do you think? And the mind does two things, either accept or reject. And it can be the same thing, accepting and rejecting. I don't know if you experienced this in your life. There was one song you really liked. It just came out. You're like, yeah, this is my song, And then after a month, you're like, you can't hear that song anymore. All right, come on, guys. There's the new one. I'm sick of this. So the same sense object, in the beginning, yes, the mind said accept. But then when it chewed, when juice ran out of that sense object, then the mind wants to reject it. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, the truth. Mahavamsa jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana, manasasjani indrani, prakriti stani kashiti. He says that every living entity is a fragmental part of myself, part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. But they are struggling in this material world with the six senses, which include the mind. So these senses and the mind, these make us struggle in this world. So if you have control of the senses and the mind, there's no more struggle. You understand? So here it's emphasized that one should be trained how to control the senses from the beginning of life. Brahmacārī says Kumaro, which means at 5 years old. Education begins at 5. In the material world, they understand this. If you want to train up a child, then you go to kindergarten prep, 4 or 5 years old, right? And then there's like, another 12, 13 years of education, and then you come to schoolies. Do they have controlled senses?
Oh, I'd say so.
No, this is the manifestation of modern education. They have completely uncontrolled. They are animals. But here, brahmacārī training is meant to build character, not to become a slave to your mind and senses. They are pretty much taught to become a slave to the mind and senses. But true training, true education, is to pretty much, for a man, brahmacārī, control the mind and senses. To understand that anyone else's possession is as good as stool or garbage in the street. If it's not yours, you're not going to touch it. And to see that every woman except one's wife as mother. Pretty much that's what education is about. Well, it's the opposite. Anything I see, actually, if I can get it, I'll take it. And then every woman is a sense object, someone to be enjoyed. So you may think about, what about education for the ladies? So they don't go to the, traditionally in Vedic culture, they don't go to the home of the spiritual master. So a guru in Vedic times was the village guru. And he was a householder. And so the child, when he's 5, will be sent there to stay there for 20 years to be trained as a perfect brahmacārī. And he'll see the wife of the guru as his mother, like this. So what happens, he doesn't take a salary, he will educate them. And you wake them up nice and early, they have to clean something. In Mayapur they have like a gurukula, and it sort of follows the same system. They wake up early and they may clean first just to wake them up, and then they'll chant mantras, maybe recite the Bhagavad Gita, for like an hour or something, Dhamma accepta, guru accepta, like this, you'll hear them. Many kids reciting. They don't know what it means. But the power of these slokas, these mantras, they purify the intelligence. So when you have a purified intelligence, it's very easy to control the mind and the senses. Then as they get older, then the guru will teach them what it means, like this. So in order to develop this mood of self-control and a mood of I'm a servant, because the guru doesn't take a salary. So they'll go into the village. Imagine 5-year-old boy is just walking in some small country town, and he knocks on the door. He goes, "Oh, my dear mother, I beg alms. Can you give some flour, some fruits, some vegetables, like this?" Of course, any lady, sees a small boy, it's like, just being so nice. Okay, yeah, I'll give you whatever you want, So it's very easy to live like that. So they'll bring it all back to the guru. Obviously, the wife of the guru will cook, but he's so self-controlled. He will not eat unless the guru calls him. And the guru forgets to call the brahmacārī. He will fast that day because he's a menial servant of the spiritual master. The spiritual master is seen as a representative of God. So whatever the guru says is as if Krishna is telling me myself. So they develop already from beginning that the goal of my life, normal life, means to surrender to God through the guru. That's what they develop. Such strong character, So when they get older and they learn the meanings of these mantras, the full philosophy, and how to control the senses, when they get to the age of 25, it is said that if the Guru allows, they will marry. So they may not want to continue the like a celibate life, which is quite normal. Majority of people become householders. It's not like we're trying to make a whole race of celibates and then the population is finished. That'll never happen, you know. So he'll be allowed to marry. When he enters the household life, he has all the knowledge. And then he has to do his duties in the household life, get a house, maintain the family, have kids. He has all the knowledge of how the material world works and how to apply ourselves spiritually. Because he doesn't have time in household life to study and all these things, you know. And then he would do that, but he still has, because from 5 years old he's saying, no, the point is not to stay in household life, you know, to not give in to the senses, but to surrender to Krishna. So he'll do his household life till he's 50, from 25 to 50. Say if he lives 100 years. At that time, usually the wife is much younger in Vedic times, maybe like 10 years young. Many girls are married when they're like 7, 8 to 11 is considered old to get married. It's usually before puberty hits. Why is that? So the girls, they stay at home and they're trained up by the mother how to become faithful and chaste. In modern education, the girls are taught pretty much how to become a prostitute and become a killer of children in the form of abortion. This is the education that's given to them. If you want to get ahead, you have to be a sexual object. And, you know, if that means sexual object, you have to engage in sexual activity, and then most likely there's pregnancy, and then, you know, they encourage, yes, get an abortion, be independent. But actually, this abortion is so horrific. What to speak of the sinful reaction, killing a child, and it doesn't even have a chance to come out. And the psychological effect of that. Many ladies, they go through abortion, and their psychology is finished afterwards. So that's modern education for the ladies. There's no protection for them. They have to be protected. It's not like it's an oppression, you know, the men are just misogynistic and they want to control women. No, they want to protect them. So then, when they're young, then under protection of the father, as they get older, they're under the protection of the husband, and then when they're elderly, they're under the protection of their grown-up sons. So the education for women is to chastity. That's their value in life. They're chaste. So if they're married off when they're, say, 8 years old, it's not like they go straight away to the husband's home who's like much older, say he's like 18 years old. It's not like, okay, you know, let's go, wife. You know, no, it's not like that. It's very gradual. So she'll stay at home with her own family and parents, but psychologically, she is very calm. Oh, I have a husband. You know, maybe, is that true? You feel more comfortable psychologically that you have a husband compared to before? Yeah, see? I'm not just talking rubbish here. So she feels, yes, I have a husband. She's like she feels calm, satisfied, I'm secured. And then what the parents will arrange is that she'll go to the home of the husband and just serve him. You know, maybe some food or wash some clothes. You know, it's not so intimate yet. And then, you know, I just, you know, more frequently, as she hits puberty, then maybe she'll stay at the home of the husband. And then, because she's most fertile, maybe, you know, 14, 15, 16, they'll have a child at that age. But she's protected. She has a husband, she has a home. The husband already knows what to do in life, you know, probably takes over the parents' business or the same occupation as the parents. Everything is settled. And if she has a child at such a young age, so when it's 20 years later, she's still in her 30s, say she has a son, she's still in like mid-30s, and the son is already like, in his 20s, 20 years old. And then he's already like married and has something to do, so she just stays with the grown-up son. She's sorted. And that grown-up son will probably take over the father's business or knows how it's running. So you can see how it's very, very good system, for both women and men. Sorry to give you some Vedic output. Obviously now it's Kali Yuga, and that doesn't happen. Marriage is like at 30 years old, and people are like been in so many relationships beforehand and messed up psychologically, and they bring so much baggage, and kids are, women are having kids in mid-30s, and they're already 50 years old and the kid's 10 years old. I have to run after this kid. So obviously Vedic culture was very scientific in terms of like male and female interaction. So that education is not there anymore. The education is, so-called education, is just to make a class of animals. So Prahlāda Mahārāja is preaching against this. Don't be an animal. Work towards controlling your mind and senses. Work towards surrendering unto the Supreme Lord. And that is the role of both men and women. And they have, in this material world, they have different duties. Along with those duties, they have to control the mind and senses and serve Krishna. So we are so lucky that Prabhupada came in our lives. First of all, he had to open up the doors to let us know that we're suffering and we're a bunch of animals. Otherwise, we wouldn't make the change, When I went to use the bathroom in the middle of the Harinama, last night, I had to stop because I had to use the bathroom. So I'm overhearing conversations, some boys, they're there, like 3 boys were discussing. And one boy is like, he has his like eyes on one certain girl, I'm gonna try and have sex with her. And the boy's like trying to encourage. It's like, yeah, you're good, yeah, you should do it, just be sincere, and it'll happen. It's like, sincere? This is the most insincere thing you could do to someone, Just see them as a sense object, exploit their body, and just mess them up psychologically. Because it is said in the sastras that the first person a woman has sex with, she will never forget that person. So it's best that it's the husband, right? And then she becomes dedicated and the mind's only there. And then for this girl, say if she goes through with it, and many do during these schoolies, they lose their virginity, then, what happens to when they actually get married? She cannot commit psychologically to that just because of this act. It's so powerful. So he's like, yeah, just be sincere, you can do it. Yeah, she likes me, yeah, I'll do it. I won't repeat what he said. But yeah, just to see another living entity as just something to be chewed up and spit out. This is not love, this is not sincerity. But they'll call it that. And this is what the form of isms is. It's a form of illusion. It's just somehow, where can I get sense gratification? For me, or my extended sense gratification? For my family, for my nation, for my species. Just think about, okay, my family comes first. That means you have to hate someone else. This is what love means in the material world. I love my nation. I love India. That means you hate Pakistan, right? Or I love Russia, then I hate Ukraine. I love Palestine, then I hate Israel. But if you love Krishna, everyone's part of Krishna's family. They're my family members. If I love my hand, I automatically love the fingers. So if you have love for Krishna, you can express real love. This is what Vedic education is about. This is what the Bhagavatam is about. This is what Harinam Sankirtan is about. Developing love for Krishna, coming from the heart, waking it up again. You cannot, bypass all these borders, all these isms of separation for sense gratification. You can see young and old are joining in. You can see all species are joining in. Dogs sometimes join the Harinam. You can see men and women come together, but not for exploitation, just to chant and worship Krishna. You know, that sexual energy is not there. We feel it, we're there. You don't feel that sexual agitation when you're there. No, you feel great happiness coming from within. Even when someone comes to disturb, you are not disturbed anymore because you have a greater happiness. You're hitting on a higher plane. They'll throw all these isms at you. You know, even this religious ism. You know, no, Jesus is the way. You're fallen. You're sinful guy. You know, this is abomination. You're cheating the people. No, you're cheating the people. Are you following Jesus? Jesus said, "Hallowed by thy name." We're following Jesus here. You're not a Christian. It says, "Thou shalt not kill," and you're eating meat. No, it's your own interpretation. Well, you think Jesus wasn't intelligent and know the difference between kill and murder? So Krishna consciousness bypass all these things because we have greater knowledge. And this Harinam Sankirtan is a manifestation of that knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam Vyakta Kara Bhagavate Kara Bara Bara Kali Yuga Nama Nama Sankirtan. That the Bhagavatam is saying again and again, Kaha means to say, Bara Bara, again and again, that the essence of Dharma, like the Dharma means the essence of the soul. So in Kali Yuga, is Nam Sankirtan. The Bhagavatam is trying to convince us that way. But if you have the goal already, you just have to hold on to it. If you're simple-hearted, you hold on to it. You understand this is what needs to be done. But if you're complicated, you need to be convinced by the books, by Srimad Bhagavatam, by Prabhupada's books. So that's why it needs to be combined. Because so many times they dance, and then last night I was pulling the cart. I felt like a bull on Pariyatra, you know? Yeah, I was just like, it nearly sounded like a bull. But like, you know, the kirtan's in front, you know, and we were doing a whole month of this all around Vrindavan, all around Brajmanda, and the bulls are pulling everything, and then we're in front chanting. So I think I got the bull's perspective then. And one girl came up to me, she's like, "What religion is this?" You know, I said, "This is Hare Krishna." And she's like, "Oh, you know," it's like, okay, she knows what it is now. But I mean, we need to somehow connect. Maybe give some contact, get their contacts, you know, give them some books, send them to the Bhakti Center, send them to the farm, and so they can associate with devotees and see what real life's about, what surrendering to Krishna is about. And surrendering to Krishna means performing Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is Savapadi vinimuktam tappanatena namamalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti uchite. That you give up all the designations of the body, all the isms, they have nothing to do with you. You get rid of all your karma, and it means to engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses. This is what Bhakti Yoga is about. That's how you control the senses. It's not about just restricting, you know, oh, no, not looking at that. Oh, I'm not hearing that. Oh, you know, I don't want to taste that. It's not just denial, you know. This is the path of the impersonalists. You know, they say everything is Maya, this whole material life. It's only Brahman, spirit, and I merge into the oneness. And I don't talk to anyone because relationships is fake, it's illusion, you know. Forms and individuality is illusion. Activities is illusion. I'm just one with myself. That's impersonalism. But personalism means that actually these senses are instruments for serving Krishna. This whole world is paraphernalia for worshipping the Lord. We're going to take it all the money. This is Lakshmi. She wants to be with Narayan. So we're going to take Lakshmi and we're going to serve it, use it for serving her Lord. In these senses, we're going to look at the books. We're going to look at the beautiful form of the deities. We're going to hear philosophy and kirtan. We're going to taste wonderful prasadam offered to Krishna. The impersonals cannot have prasadam because they think the Lord has no tongue, has no senses. So they don't believe in prasadam. What a life! No prasadam. What a life! No kirtan. What a life! No Prabhupada's books. What a life! No devotee association. What a life! No japa even. You know, we wake up early and we got something to do. People wake up early, they don't want to do their jobs. They don't want to do these things. But a devotee will do his job because he understands that my home, my family belongs to Krishna, the deity. So I will make money so Krishna is glorified. So Krishna feels comfortable in my home. I'll buy some nice altar for him. It's going to be so nice. I'll invite so many people to my home and organize programs, big kirtans, and feed them like anything. We'll feed Krishna first, big feast, and then we'll feed everyone else. And that's how the spiritual world manifests. This is what surrendering to Krishna looks like. It's a dance at every step. You know, glorification at every word. In the material world, it's just criticizing left, right, and center with every word. Go online, everyone's ready to criticize. And every step in the material world, you can die. Right? The road is there. You just look the wrong way. I notice many kids in schoolies, they just fall off balconies. It's true, right?
Yeah, every year there's a few, it's just...
Yeah. OD, so many OD. Many are drinking so much alcohol that to pump out their stomach. Even many girls are raped. Many fights happen. We don't see them because we go a bit earlier. But usually, I analyzed this as I was growing up. We go to a house party. Right on midnight, there's a fight. I don't know why. Then the cops come and everything, you know. Midnight, that's the time to fight, you know. Some guy didn't pick up some girl, he's frustrated, he picks a fight. So maybe that guy, he didn't get the girl and he started a fight or something. This is their world. So it's up to us to show them real life, surrendering to Krishna by engaging in bhakti, by engaging in Harinam Sankirtan. Lord Chaitanya showed us how to surrender. If you look at the Bhagavatam, the introduction, the life of Bhagavatam, how to live Bhagavatam, the introduction is the life of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what did he do? Chanting, dancing, and feasting amongst devotees. Nach go bhakta sangha, kora sankirtan, Krishna nama upadeshi tava savajam. He was instructed by Ishvara Puri that you dance and chant with devotees and instruct others about the importance of Krishna Nam. In this way you'll deliver the fallen conditioned souls. We are followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are followers of Prabhupada. Prabhupada started a preaching movement. We are not Babajis. Our goal is not to reside in Radhakund, growing a beard with nice tilak and just sit and chant japa. No, it is very exalted to do such a thing. But we are part of Prabhupada's movement, whereas we get purified by reaching out to the fallen conditioned souls. And then we do the sadhana required to make us strong to get out there. Doing this, sadhana is making us strong. You know, we are carrying we are ambassadors of the spiritual world. Even though we are not there yet, we got the job. Usually in the material world, you need the qualification, then you get the job, right? But here, Mahaprabhu, whoever is coming, all right, we'll put you in the position, then, all right, you get qualified. You know, you're living in New Govardhan. You've been there for like a month or two or a week. Oh, you did that really good. Okay, you're in charge. After 1 week. You know, promotion's really easy in spiritual life. So, like I said, what we're doing is not an ordinary thing. It's a universal event. There's so many kids who are fooled by modern education get the chance to surrender to Krishna through chanting and dancing. We are part of that. We are assisting Lord Chaitanya in spreading love of God. That love that's beyond time, space, and thought. That love that fully satisfies the heart. This is what we're part of. Krishna. So I'll stop. If anyone has a comment or question, you're gonna hold this thing. You can just hold it like that.
Thanks for the class, Prabhu. I got 2 questions. One was on the prasadam thing. How you're speaking about, we get to eat this really nice prasadam, but eventually is the goal not to have so much prasadam, because there's obviously quite a lot of obese devotees, and I feel like that's obviously, you can have prasadam, but it's not controlling the tongue at a certain level.
Yeah, so the idea is to rally honor prasadam. So Prabhupada said in the first 6 months you should eat so much prasadam that you eat up to the neck and you water like a duck. I think I extended that 6 months much further on. But prasadam is a shelter, and majority of devotees, particularly in Australia, Prabhupada said you'll conquer Australia with prasadam. Because the idea, especially if you've come from a background of meat eating, and especially alcohol taking, drug taking, so we have these 4 regulative principles, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. So he made some positives for that. So in relation to intoxication, he said, take prasadam and be intoxicated. So the thing is, we need that higher taste always. And our tongue is always searching for something. So it will naturally happen. There's no need to be like, okay, now I've been practicing so long, maybe I should reduce. No, it will happen on its own. Like this. You don't have to think like, oh, now I'm taking so much. No, take to your heart's content. That's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur's the song is, right? Which line is it that he says, take it to my full satisfaction? Anyway, it's in that song that we sing, the Prasadam song. Yeah. The first line is really, anyway, who's got the translation? You can read it out. Yeah, so it starts off pretty gruesome, but we sing it, The body is a network leading to death. We're all so happy, Yeah, this body is a network leading to death. Yes, but the ending is the hope. And one of the lines is, you take to your full satisfaction. Krishna is so kind. His tongue is so hard to control, so voracious. But you're so kind, you're giving this nice prasadam that we can take to our full satisfaction. So take prasadam to your full satisfaction.
One more question.
Yeah, sure.
So, then you also spoke how we are part of Prabhupada's movement, which is a preaching movement, not like about being a Babaji, But then, so far as our sadhana, should we not have eventually a goal to increase our sadhana so we can have more of an impact, For example, chanting more rounds. I know like some of the sannyasis, they chant like 64 rounds. So surely that would help, having a stronger sadhana, it would help your preaching. Should we not try and look to like deepen our sadhana to help with our preaching as well?
Okay, I have 2 quotes for you from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said, the emperor of sadhana is Harinam Sankirtan. And another quote is Agosyanandi, one who preaches. So Agosyanandi is a Bhajanandi who preaches. So Vaisheshika Prabhu would say that our preaching is our overflow of our sadhana. So we have nice rounds, we have nice reading, we have nice hearing, nice prasadam. Prasadam is sadhana also. It's deity worship actually, taking prasadam. So these things will inspire us, so then you just feel impelled to push yourself out. Like we've been reading a lot of Bhagavatam lately, and Nitya, he was commenting like how like my fire to go on Harinam is Srimad Bhagavatam. If I read a lot of Bhagavatam, then I want to do Harinam, rah, rah, rah. And like some people don't share that same enthusiasm, so I'm quite unbearable around, And so I get a bit, complacent with my reading, I'll be like, nah, I shouldn't read too much, otherwise, you know, people around me they're like this high-known crazy guy, you know. So then, yeah, the enthusiasm goes down, but I'm bearable. So Nitai, he's been reading a lot lately, and he said, like, because the first night he sang so much. You know, three hours just you know. And he said, yeah, you know, you're right. You know, when you read more Bhagavatam, then you just get so fired up to go out on high, you know. So it's dangerous. Yeah. So this is, Krishna consciousness is a holistic thing. There's no like, okay, now now I get rid of this. No. You have to keep your japa, you have to keep your sadhana, you have to keep your preaching, you have to keep your rest, you know. It's a holistic thing. We're not going to reject anything, but, like I said, a preaching movement means that we somehow have to touch people's hearts. This is the purpose of this movement. You can do all the activities of devotional service, be a good temple devotee, good congregational member, but if you're not involved, directly or indirectly, for people to hear the holy name, then you're missing the point.
Then you will also not be inspired anymore.
You will not be inspired, yeah. And it's said in the third canto, if you get transcendental knowledge and you don't give it, you'll lose it. So it's part of retaining transcendental knowledge and getting a deeper realization. There you go. Yeah. That's okay? Anyone else? Mr. Trey? Yeah,
Cool.
it's all good.
Alright, cool. Do you think there's like an active agenda around, like, say, the school system, or say people who say don't have sex, don't drink alcohol, don't do these things, are actively shamed in this society and like put down, and like all the things we're taught, all the programming and all this? Do you think it's an active agenda, or like just a byproduct of Kali Yuga?
Yeah. I mean, this is Kali Yuga, so the times for quarrel and hypocrisy. So there'll be those who are in charge of society are empowered by Kali to push forward these sinful activities, especially meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. So then, actually for us to just refrain from these things is actually creating a revolution. It's the most revolutionary thing you could probably think of, because it's by these activities that the whole society is trapped under their senses. They can be easily controlled by the mind and senses when you just lure these sense objects in front of them. You know, meat eating, you know, that like these the 4 legs of Dharma. In this chapter in the Bhagavatam, the Kali was breaking these legs. So one of the leg is mercy. So that is destroyed by meat eating. Another leg is austerity, and that is destroyed by intoxication. You know, if you smoke too much weed, then you're just a lazy guy, you know, can't even lift my finger, or stoned all the time. Cleanliness is destroyed by illicit sex. So it means like internal cleanliness as well. Yeah, external cleanliness, yeah. Your brothels are not clean places. Right? And I'm sure if you went to these kids' rooms, the most disgusting rooms you've probably seen in your life. And then truthfulness is destroyed by gambling. So if you look at all sports, it's all backed up by gambling. Even during COVID, where there's no one in the stands, it's all about gambling. Intoxication of all forms just dulls the brain. No one can do any austerity. And meat eating just makes you desensitized to, like I said, you know, this is like the highest form, to eat someone's body. That someone's body is for me to be killed and eaten. It's like such expectation. You don't see a person at all. It's full impersonal desensitization. You know, you just, you can't have a soft heart. So yes, Kali Yuga is in charge, But the only way you can defeat Kali Yuga is by Harinam Sankirtan. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam. Kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatinyata. The only way to be delivered is by chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way. And you may think, but man, they've taken control so much, look how strong they are. But it doesn't matter, the holy name is so powerful and so subtle, it hits the consciousness, tirta dapana marginal. It goes past the senses platform, it goes past the mental platform, it goes past the intellectual platform. Straight to the spiritual platform, straight to the soul, and works its way out. They will get mercy. Krishna recognizes in their heart they've done some service, and will give them more mercy in the future. If they actually knew how powerful, like, you know, your materialistic leaders, if they actually knew how powerful this Harinam Sankirtan is, then, you know, they'll be violent with us. They'll oppress us to the max. But because we're not pushing it so much, that's not happening. So you know your preaching is working if there's opposition. That hasn't happened yet. But we can start somewhere. But don't worry, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtana. It's always supremely victorious, the Shri Krishna Sankirtana. This is the winning side. It's okay?
It's good.
Yeah. Anyone else has a Mr. Nitai?
So, you said the truthfulness also is destroyed by gambling. But he said that this is like the only leg that is kind of remaining in this age. But, I mean, we see it's like a lot of gambling. It's quite acceptable nowadays. I mean, it's like that everyone bets on sports and this and that. So
They even have a holiday for the horse race, you know.
So how do we see that this leg is still kind of intact?
Yeah, well, people still appreciate the truth in the form of scripture. And especially in Australia, like, if you're straightforward, you know, even if you're insulting someone, I think you smell. At least he's honest. So truthfulness has some appreciation, you know. If someone's straightforward about things, then somehow there's still some appreciation for it. So that's why truthfulness is the only leg left, or of some predominance in Kali Yuga. Yes. The Prabhupada saw that in Australia. He was, you know, he'll say people on their face, "You're a dog," you know, and, you know, in Australia. Like, he went to some school, primary school, and it was a big class like this, you know. And he told all the kids, "Okay, repeat after me, Hare Krishna." And they just like didn't do it, and they were laughing like this, you know. And then Prabhupada goes, "What, are you all dumb?" And then they all start laughing, like that. "Okay, now chant Hare Krishna," and the whole crowd is like, "Hare Krishna." So Prabhupada could see that, especially for Australia, you know. Yeah, truthfulness is appreciated still.
Well, the thing that you said about if the leaders would know how dangerous this Harinam Sankirtan is for what they're trying to achieve, they would like completely get violent with us. So that we saw in communist Russia. That's exactly what happened. This was like top 3 threat to their regime. One thing was Western music, Coca-Cola, and Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna was like top priority for them. And then many of the KGB officers would go as spies to the temple, and some of them never returned because they became Hare Krishna. Like even Bhakti-Vigyan Maharaj was
He was a spy.
Was a spy in the beginning or something.
He's powerful.
Or he was recruited by KGB or something. So there were many. And then they were thrown in prison, obviously.
Wow.
Tortured like anything. Anyone else?
Mr. Bibek.
So if this Harinam movement is as powerful or threatening as you say, why don't we see the congregation, supporting the Harinam as much as they support the rest of the activities?
Yeah, Kali is very intelligent. So, as you can see that, okay, maybe our movement is not embraced it as much as you would expect, or due to, according to scripture. So the idea is that Kali, the only thing that threatens is this Harinam. If it goes out on a wide scale, especially on the streets. So then, he only has to attack our movement. He cannot stop the movement, but he can slow it down. So if he can encourage devotees to chant inside. Go outside, chant inside, have your festival, it's very nice, hitam melas, this and that. Keep it inside. Outside, you don't have to. No one, if you're leading a kirtan, no one out there cares about you. But inside, if you lead, everyone's looking on you, Check that out, yeah? This is good. Keep it inside. Like that. So, Kali is very expert. So, it can infiltrate out in the movement in that way that to discourage the output of the holy name. Somehow we got the gift from Lord Chaitanya that this is a thing to do. And because we experienced it, that's how our faith is there. We experience so much happiness from it, more than doing it inside. Because we get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya in a huge way. We're doing his thing. And we can say how much advancement we make, how much our intelligence we get more, our vision on life. So, yeah, somehow we got a special gift. At the same time, Kali can infiltrate the movement. And, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has his Kali, he says his Kali Chela, It's like they're dressed up as a devotee, but actually they're agents of Kali. But it's not our job to point them out. Oh, this guy's Kali Chela, That's not our job. Our job is to simply understand we got a gift, that we understand that this is the thing to do in Kali Yuga, and we just hold on to that gift by just constantly going out. And Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, he's in charge, actually. We talk about these conspiracy theories, this Illuminati and, this secret societies, they're controlling the people, this and that. There's no hope for us. No. The main conspiracy is Lord Chaitanya. He's going to give love of God to everyone. The golden age is coming. You just have to choose which side you're going to be on when that happens. The golden age is coming. So, it's here and now. It started. You choose, which side you're going to be on. But, it's going to take over. No doubt about it.
So those devotees who are engaging in Harinam Sankirtan, do they have to, because you mentioned Kali Yuga, being infiltrating the movement, do the devotees have to worry about, the Kali Yuga actually interfering when they're doing Harinam Sankirtan?
In the Harinam Sankirtan itself?
Yeah, especially to those who are actively working right now. Does that make sense?
So you worry about those who are affected by Kali, who are doing Harinam Sankirtan?
No. So, say some of us are engaged in Harinam Sankirtan, right?
Yeah.
Do we have to worry more about getting infiltrated by Kali Yuga?
Yeah, because you're ruining his program. Yes. So that's why you may not get appreciated as much as you thought you would. But the same thing happened to Haridas Thakur. Both the Hindus and the Muslims didn't like him. It was only Mahaprabhu and close associates that appreciated Haridas Thakur as Namacharya. So we may have to go through the same thing. But that's okay, it makes you humble, doesn't make you proud. Actually, it's actually in our favor that we don't get glorified and put on, posters and whatever else. Isn't it? If you remain a nobody in the movement, there's no, you can't get proud. So it's actually a protection. We're just servants of Lord Chaitanya. We're no one special. We just want to be an atom at the lotus feet of the Lord, just like Lord Chaitanya would pray. We're doing Harinam Sankirtan as a shelter, not to prove anything. And when we chant, we're just calling out, "Let me serve you, my Lord." That's all. Haribol. Welcome. Maybe some guys can make some space. No, you come and have. It's okay. Or you can sit here even.
Yeah, on like that. Sometimes we feel like sometimes there's no help when you go on Harinam, right? Like sometimes just even nobody's to play mridanga or something, And I mean, I've gone through it so many times, and I realize that those Harinams are like somehow very powerful as well, Because you get sometimes people that they just chant like from nowhere, And yeah, and then you become more dependent on Krishna, like, oh Krishna, I mean, I got no one, like, And then I guess that gives you more like Krishna's hands, like, okay, it's not you just, but Krishna is completely behind you, like he's just giving you everything you need. Yeah, and yeah, it doesn't matter what, but it will go on. So that's the faith I have, Even I don't go, somebody will come and do it,
Yes.
It's the time, so.
Yes. If we don't do it, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya will organize someone to do it. So it will happen. Yes. Anyone else? We good? Yeah?
So what is the best
Take
way?
this thing, man.
So what's the best way to be protected in Harinam Sankirtan so you can do it longer?
Yes. So the many distractions can be there.
Yeah.
Even like within the mind, someone said something to you. You may still be thinking about it or angry. Harinam Ruchi, actually, like we're so different, all of us. So many times when we're like staying somewhere, we fight with each other. Nelly is about to punch on, But then it's time for Harinam. And it's like, okay, we all love this service. Okay, let's work together. We do the service. After 4 hours, we forgot what we're fighting about. And yes, we may have disturbances in the mind. That's when you hold on to the holy name, one mantra at a time. So some people do Harinam, but they still get affected. But I see them, they don't chant on the Harinam. So it's kind of like japa, You have to hear the chanting, you have to chant yourself. It's like japa, same thing. It's just as strict. But for some reason, because it's like, but no, we have to chant. Even if you're dancing, you have to chant. Even if you're playing drum, you have to chant. Actually we're the minority there. There's only a few of us. So you can't miss a mantra. That's, Kali will have his chants. Don't miss a mantra. Like in japa, don't miss a mantra. Correct? Anyone else? Oh,
I have.
yes, Mr. Devo.
Thinking about to ask you two things. One thing is,
I have a two-part question.
I mean, personally, I struggle on reading. Like some months or some weeks I read, and then I go through something like some other work or this or that, and I struggle to regulate my reading, like every day kind of thing, And I just wanted to ask, because then, anyway, you guys have such a good habit that wherever I go with you, I could see that it's like a sadhana for you guys, Okay, I got to read now.
Right.
So how do you what do you suggest, like people like me?
It's good. It's a decent question. So reading is such a thing. You sort of have to stop everything, be quiet. But if you have many things to do, best to hear Bhagavatam. Hear your spiritual master. It's lectures. There's unlimited lectures on ISKCON Desire Tree. and just have them playing non-stop. Prabhupada's lectures are available, just non-stop. Even if you don't hear anything, something will go inside, you know. So yes, if you haven't had that habit yet, you know, then you just have it in your ear all the time. Then you don't have to hear your dirty mind intelligence, you know. You'll hear Prabhupada, you'll hear your spiritual master, you'll hear a devotee. And, you know, it's just a push of a button, really. And, you know, we even got Bluetooth headphones and all this stuff, so, you know, you can do so many things. I think that's like the best way to make up for it.
But I mean, I do that. Like I hear at least
Yeah.
one lecture, half a lecture,
Yeah.
something, you know,
Yeah.
every day. But I feel like when you really sit down and read, it's
Yeah.
like really powerful. Like
Yeah.
when I read, I could feel that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhupada, these books have power, you know. You're with Prabhupada and he's like giving you mercy. So, yes, they definitely have that power. And he did want us, he sacrificed his life to translate and write these books. So, he did say 1 or 2 hours. And we do have to make time for it. Maybe you can chop it up, 15-minute gaps along the day. You know, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. 15 minutes before each meal. That's 1 hour. You know, 15 minutes before your bed, before brekkie, like that. That's a few. And build up. Yeah. That's what Madhavananda did. He saw us reading and he was inspired. So I go out 5 minutes before bed. And then, you know, it became a habit. So that's the nature of like devotional service. You do some and then it increases. We do Hari now, and now it's increased to like a whole crazy week, you know. So
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, should we stop here? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki. Please among basis Vanchikopa Turubhisha Kripa Sindhu Vericha Paridhana Bhavani Vaishya Gora Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.